Hi, I'm Avery Parker, and I'm the layout manager and managing editor of the Ledger UW student newspaper.
Okay. What are the most important decisions you make as a leader of your organization?
I'd say one of the most important things that me, as well as my editor-in-chief, make together is the plans that we have to set in place for everybody here to be as successful as possible in the work they produce.
Okay. How do you encourage creative thinking within your organization?
Okay. I'd say we really like to encourage everyone to stick with topics that are relevant, but as well something they're passionate about, so that they can put that into their writing, which definitely increases the amount of creativity in their pieces.
Where do the great ideas come from?
What?
Where do the great ideas for the paper come from? The ideas.
That depends which part of the paper, which part of the ideas. Like, there's a lot of different facets here, so.
So what's the biggest challenge facing like a leadership today?
I'd say one of the bigger challenges is getting everyone on board and to stay consistent. That's something that we're currently having some trouble with. It's just getting everyone on a set schedule and to be really consistent on keeping with that.
So how can a leader fail?
It's really easy to fail, I think.
Is there any time, like as a leader, you failed or had a hard time?
Not really bad, I don't think. I think it's more of how much effort and how much heart you're willing to put into it, and if you're not willing to commit that time and effort and just the passion that you have about something, then you're not going to be able to lead others in that same area. So I think that's something that would lead someone to fail if they don't do that.
Okay. What's the greatest strengths in working here as a leader?
Like my strengths or just everyone across the board?
Your strength.
Okay. I'd say the opposite of what I just said, that I have that passion about the Ledger. It's something I care a lot about, so I'm willing to commit a lot of time and a lot of my own stress and all of that to put the best product out as possible.
Did you always knew that you want to work for the Ledger, or how did you choose this job, this career?
Well, I happened upon the Ledger kind of on accident, actually. At the beginning of last year, I was just looking for a job and I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I found the Ledger on the student job site and it just sounded interesting, so I applied as a page designer and I fell in love with doing that, and then I just wanted to take on more, so I became the layout manager this year, and then I've recently stepped up again to becoming the managing editor.
So how often do you feel it's necessary to meet with your team?
At least once a week. Yeah, it's necessary to meet fairly often. That definitely helps everyone stay on the same page and know what's going on with everyone else, since we're kind of a dispersed group with everyone's different departments, and we're not really needing necessarily to complete our work be together in the same room, but it's definitely helpful to work as a collaborative piece as we are. There's so many different people that put work into it, so I think it's important to meet at least once a week with everybody, like we do in our pitch meetings, to get everyone together and working together. And then on the editorial side of that, me and Kelsey both agree that we're needing to get everyone in that team together more often, at least twice a month, to help with that as well.
Are you more effective in a group or in one bed?
I'd say I work better as a small group. That's what I've always had here, is a pretty tightly knit small group of people on my team. So as you know, like, design is a really close group. I'd say the closest on staff, and I really enjoy that, and I think it helps you improve in your work too, because you have all these people who are knowledgeable in what you're doing to bounce ideas off of and to help each other figure out the solution to whatever you're struggling with. So I think a small group is the best working environment.
Okay. How do you motivate your team?
How do I motivate them? Well, lately in my new position, I like to send out emails that are equal parts chipper but like firm, like, you need to do this, please. I think that just sending out reminders like that can help motivate people to keep them on the track that they need to be on, just like, hey, and just checking in with them as often as they need it, because if people aren't being held accountable at all, then they're not going to be motivated to complete the work that they need to.
What's the most difficult part of being a leader?
That's kind of a hard question. Say one of the harder parts of being a leader is putting yourself out there, because you definitely have to, like, you have to not be afraid to speak up in front of everybody and be able to tell them what to do, basically, like, but not in a demanding way and not in a too lenient way, because then they won't listen to you. But it is like my job to manage the whole staff, so that's kind of necessary to just have a little bit of assertion behind what you say, and that's typically not really my personality to be that way, so that makes it
So is there any leadership style you use?
I don't know if like an official style or anything, but something that I try to do and keep in mind is to be friendly and approachable, so people feel comfortable coming to me and anybody else in leadership here to be able to bring their concerns or questions forward and not feel scared to do that, because if they don't feel like they have a voice and they have to stay silent, then all those issues are just going to snowball and get worse, and that's going to bring the whole paper down as a whole. So that's a really bad situation. I try and avoid that as much as possible, to just make everyone feel comfortable and encourage camaraderie, just get everyone to know each other, and I think that that helps a lot, not only me as a leader, but everybody on staff.
Is there any advice you give for a student like me who's trying to find their career or jobs, their ways?
I'd say to enjoy what you do. If you hate it, you're just not gonna go very far. So find something that you like but is still a bit of a challenge for you, so you can still have that opportunity for growth. And yeah, just follow something that you're passionate about.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.